Well, here we are. I'm losing my voice, but folks, we're back with the latest installment in the ongoing European experiment in cultural suicide. Now, over in Berlin this weekend, during their big Pride parade, Christopher Street Day, they call it, some Islamic psychopath decided to turn the rainbow festivities into a bloodbath. According to the Associated Press, the suspect in this deadly Berlin Pride attack has now been killed in a confrontation with police. Now, one dead, 29 injured. A van rammed into the crowd near Terror Garden Park. Then out comes the machete for a little extra seasoning. Authorities are calling it an Islamic extremist attack. Well, isn't that a shocker? Now, the name of this gentleman, Abdullah Bailout, 21 years old, a German citizen with Lebanese roots. What is he, a hairdresser? What's with these Lebanese roots? Abdullah Bailout doesn't sound like a German name to me. Hans, Klaus, Fritz, they do. Abdullah Bailout is born in Berlin, they say, but let's not pretend the bloodline or the ideology came from the local bear hall. This kid was known to police, part of the Islamist scene they have over there, previously convicted for preparing violent acts and ISIS propaganda, kind of like the mayor of New York City. Out on probation in some de-radicalization program. De-radicalization. How'd that work out for you, Germany? About as well as every other soft-on-terror experiment they've tried. And the police finally cornered him in some suburb in Spandau. It was nearly 24 hours later. He charged them with a bladed weapon, and they shot him dead. Good, but about time somebody did something decisive. But here's what I keep wondering, and maybe some of you out there are wondering the same thing. Did the German police have to drive back to the station to pick up their guns? Now, I mean, these European forces are so carefully calibrated for sensitivity and community relations. In a lot of places over there, officers walk around looking like they're ready for a yoga class, not terror response. Germany's a bit better, but they do arm their cops routinely. But you still get the sense the whole continent is allergic to the idea of decisive force until the body count forces their hand. Now, imagine if this had been in Texas. Abdullah Bailout wouldn't have made it 3 blocks. This is the predictable result of years of open borders, multiculturalism as a suicide pact, and elites who treat every criticism of mass migration from certain cultures as hate speech. You import people who come from societies where homosexuality is punishable by death, or worse, you celebrate pride in their new neighborhood, and then act surprised when one of them decides the parade is an invitation to jihad. These people don't integrate into society, folks. They bring their ideology and their machete with them from home. Now, the media will twist themselves into pretzels, avoiding anything about saying the obvious. German citizen, mental health, lone wolf. No. Abdullah Bailout doesn't sound German because the worldview that drove that van didn't come from Beethoven or Goethe. It comes from a 7th century playbook that has zero tolerance for the very freedoms those pride marchers were waving flags about. And here's the introspection. Well, there was no introspection on the left. Where was the introspection on the left? Crickets. Or worse, they'll blame Islamophobia or the far right for creating the conditions. Meanwhile, ordinary Germans and some gays in Berlin are the ones cleaning up the blood. This isn't complicated, folks. Cultures clash. Some are compatible with Western liberalism. Some are not. Pretending otherwise gets people killed. Abdullah Bailout is dead, and I say good riddance. But the policies that produced him are still very much alive. And that's the real story the AP won't put in the headline. This is where we are. Well, this is where they are today in the EU. We'll be back, and we hope you will too.